guys interested in a free... Welcome back, guys, again to another video. This one is 3 years in the making. I'm actually standing right in front of a 2017 Porsche Cayman that I purchased just about 3 years ago, and I am returning today. And this video is going to be about purchasing a sports car or purchasing a high-end car and not paying a single dollar. So a lot of you guys know what Airbnb is, right? It's something that, you know, if you were to go to another city or another state and you wanted to live somewhere outside of a hotel room, you'd potentially rent someone else's house or someone else's cottage or cabin for the week or the weekend. Well, Turo is an app that I've used for the last 3 years to rent out not just the car behind me, but a handful of other cars that I've owned as well. I have rented the car behind me for the last 3 years, and I have not paid any car payment or car insurance, but it's actually made me money over the last 3 years. Now, there's a lot of risk, obviously, putting your house up on Airbnb or having a house as a rental property, or in this instance, putting up a luxury car for random strangers to drive. I actually had been on the Turo app for years well before. It actually used to be relay rides. I had used it previously when I had gone out of state or to another city. Just like an Airbnb is very convenient rather than you continuously staying at a hotel room, it's fun to be able to go to another city or another state and be able to drive something fun around. When you purchase a vehicle for Turo, it's gotta make sense. You've gotta know what you're doing, you've gotta know your market, and you've got to know how much a car is going to rent for. My Porsche rented anywhere from $135 to $155 a day. Now your question may be, how often did it rent? Well, sometimes almost every day. And then COVID hit and it didn't rent for 2 months straight. So to give you guys an idea of my rough numbers now turning this vehicle in today, my payment, my insurance, and the little bit of maintenance that I did have on the vehicle. All of that was about $1,000 a month. $36,000 was put into this car. Turo paid me over $50,000. And that $50,000 at the end of the day was take home. It was after Turo's expenses. So at the end of the day, after 3 years, I not only had this vehicle for free, but I also made over $10,000. So the biggest question I get all the time when I bring up the fact that I rented my Jeep out, I rented my Porsche out, I rented my Audi out, these are all other cars that I was able to make some money off of, is do you not feel uncomfortable giving your car to a stranger? Really, at the end of the day, this is just an income-producing vehicle for me. It's not something I'm attached to. It's not something I'm emotionally connected to. It's my business, and it's what makes me money. So just like when you own a rental property, you can't fall in love with a rental property. You can't get your emotions involved with a car here. Now, to say that there hasn't been any hiccups would be a complete lie. I did have an individual one time tried to pick up this car outside my house, and I got a gun pulled on me. Yep, I'll show you some footage actually of him and his girlfriend getting arrested right outside my house. I also met another individual outside in an extended stay hotel. To be honest with you, if you're picking up a luxury sports car outside of an extended stay hotel, it's kind of a red flag already to me. And then he proceeded to hand me not just one, but 2 fake licenses. I was able to pull away and get away from that situation, but again, not all of it is nice and pretty. And the last situation that was not ideal with the Porsche was last year when I was outside the country. I had an individual actually pull it outside of my garage for an individual renter to take the car. That renter decided didn't want to come pick up my car. Well, a storm came through and my tree outside my house fell on the whole backside of the car. So not only did I miss out on the potential rental income there, I also had to pay my deductible to get my car fixed. And also, I've been very vocal about this situation. If you haven't heard, I do own a Jeep. However, that Jeep is not the first Jeep I've owned, because last year I rented out my Jeep on Turo and an individual decided to steal it. Yes, indeed. I owned a Jeep last year and I have no clue where it's at. It was never returned and never found, so I had to wait multiple months for Turo to pay that off, and then 6 months after that is when I went and got the new Jeep that I have now. Now, disclaimer, obviously my intent with this video is not to have you go out and get a vehicle. To be honest with you, relay rides, now turned Turo, is actually headed in the wrong direction. I'm actually on my way out of Turo. I'm returning this car and I'm no longer gonna be renting most of my cars on the app because the platform is not friendly to the individuals that are hosting or putting cars on the app. To be honest with you, it's more friendly for the individual that's renting the car. So I'm making my way and transitioning out of it, but it's been a great source of income the last 3 years to allow myself to have, honestly, 3 brand new cars. A lot of my channel so far has been a lot of vlogs, showing you guys what has happened day in and day out of my life. But I'm actually starting to post a lot more video content that is just about personal finance and building wealth. Turo has been a great avenue for me to have just a nice vehicle or two to drive around that's still making me money. Because at the end of the day, really what I've learned over the last 4 years is try to eliminate as many expenses as you can. Yes, it's kind of a reverse psychology here where I go out and get an expensive car, but in reality, the expense is going to be negated by renting it out. Just like renting out your rooms in a house. If you are single and you own a house and there's empty rooms, rent those rooms out. Help that pay your mortgage. This car behind me has helped me pay my car insurance, has helped me pay not only the car payment on this car, but the car payment on multiple cars. So yes, 3 years ago I was a high school teacher and a lot of my students just gave me a lot of crap for buying a brand new sports car, being a high school teacher. Bam, 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 bam. But honestly, buying this car has helped me eliminate a lot of expenses and has allowed me to use that money and invest it elsewhere. If you guys have any questions about Turo, the good or the bad, just leave a comment down below or reach out to me personally. I'd love to help. It's been a great source of income for me, but I can honestly say it's not a great source of income for everyone. And it comes down to, at the end of the day, the purchase and the price of that vehicle versus what it's gonna rent for. Just like renting a house, just like buying an investment property, the numbers have to make sense. Are you guys trying to get a free car? Subscribe now.